We hope you're enjoying the streaming coverage we've got, and we now move and we change on to the first round of one of the sculling events. What have we got coming up?
The senior lightweight single sculls. We've got Flora Wharton of Glasgow University, sculler 83 on the bark side, and Perry of University of London.
Susie Perry.
Susie Perry. I remember reading the name earlier this morning. And good racing here. It's possibly Susie Perry leading Flora Wharton by maybe a length there. Hard to get the angles.
We've just been sculling for about a minute, so to get a length in a minute, that's not bad going in a sculling boat.
No, it's not. No, indeed not.
Both sculling at 31, which is quite low for lightweight scullers, and we often see lightweight scullers sculling at much more than that.
I do apologise for my cough. There's a bit of a froggy tickle going on there. And here we go.
But
the
still a very...
University of London still leading Glasgow. Just as they're coming up towards the finish.
Was Flora in the Scottish Championships last weekend?
She was indeed. I think she raced the single, the double, and I think she was in one of the bigger boats. I think maybe the quad. I think the quad lost to Edinburgh University, but Edinburgh University have got a stunning quad at the moment. Pretty unbeatable I've seen so far, but hopefully we'll see them later this weekend. So
Scottish rowing is flourishing at the moment then?
It seems to be, yes. Seems to be very successful Scottish Championships.
And did it rain at Strathclyde Park this year?
As my father-in-law always says, it doesn't quite rain on the west coast. It's just gentle rain. It's like that thick mist that just hangs in the air and still soaks you, but it doesn't blow in your face.
Understand. Well, they're coming at us thick and fast.
Good grief, this is another senior lightweight single sculls.
I think they're very keen at this regatta always to be bang on time, and the race that's just started was scheduled to start at 16 minutes past 3, so we're now absolutely bang on schedule. This one's got Jade Hubbard from Imperial College on the right hand side of your screens, and on the far side from Nottingham, a very well known name, Olivia Kay.
And very little in it, about half a length just as it came off the bottom of the island.
Yeah. And I think Olivia Kay, her dad was a multiple World Championship gold medalist, Notts County Rowing Association, when you were probably still rowing for your school.
Oh.
So we go back to the drone camera. You can see you're absolutely right. There's only half a length in it between these two scullers. That's Hubbard from Imperial College. With that, well, as I spoke, half a length. She took a couple of very strong strokes and she squeezed it out to a length.
It looks like a length to me, Sandy.
That's how quickly it changes in sculling.
These pictures from the drone are stunning, aren't they? The quality and what you can see is just really very good. This is
it's a whole new dimension, although it's interesting to see that as the race settles as the race settles down, then Jade Hubbard is just beginning to scull right away.
Oh, she is. She's certainly taken some those few strokes. She says that she did something else and pulled it out to a length that has made a huge difference in the race for her. I think it's given her the confidence that she knows that she can get out in front and have the power to stay out in front, which is a nice place to be in a sculling race.
I just think it's astonishing when we think that these young ladies have to be a maximum of 59 kilograms, which I think is 9 stone 2, is that what it is? Something of that nature?
It's very light, and some of these ladies are very tall. I don't know if you've seen them, stood next to them. That's quite a light weight to be for some of the heights that some of these ladies have.
Well, indeed, I'm not the tallest of men, and time was when these lightweight scullers, lady scullers, were shorter than me, but not anymore. I have to talk up to them, and I think it's just quite extraordinary the fitness and the strength they have. I was involved in coaching lightweight women some 15, 20 years ago, and then it used to take us probably a couple of years to get them as strong as we could whilst you were teaching them to row, but these young ladies already have strength way beyond anything that we would have imagined 20 years ago. Quite extraordinary, the athleticism and the way that biomechanics and general conditioning has come on. And also, I think, the way that we now understand the best technique for lightweights to scull at.
Oh, I think sports science, sport medicine, sports psychology, the whole triumvirate of the things that fit together to make good racers is much more advanced than it was 20 years ago. There's been lots of research into nutrition and strength and conditioning and boat design and levers and much more technology. And I think the power of computers means that we can analyse all these data and tell a crew or a sculler what does make things go fast.
And here, as they enter the last third, or well into the last third of the race, we see that that despite that early lead that Jade Hubbard had, Olivia Kay hung on to her, and the lead is still only a length and a half as we come down to the last third. And indeed, far from accepting defeat, Olivia Kay is really giving it some stick. She's really giving it everything she's got to try and bite into that lead. I don't think she's making a great deal of progress, but all credit to her, because when you've been sculling for 1,200 metres and you've been in second place for 1,200 metres, the mental strength it takes to keep hammering away and banging at the door, it's just extraordinary.
Especially in a single scull, because it's on the single scull, everything is on your shoulders, and you have to have that strength within yourself to fight back. And some people are very good single scullers, and some people just don't quite have that mental strength alone to do it. Very good in crew boats, but not necessarily in a single, and it's a very hard race as a single sculler.
How true it is, and one of the skills of coaching is to try and understand those people that have that mentality that enables them to be good scullers. But as you were talking, I looked, I could see Jade Hubbard just looking across the river and thinking, well, have I got this under control? Is this in the bag? And without changing the rate, she just increased the pace through the water for those last 3 strokes, just to draw away those extra few feet. And there we are. We can see that she got home and dry.
Very good race, that. Lovely, lovely to watch good scullers on the water.
There is nothing finer than watching some good scullers. It's just beautiful. I have to own up to being a bit of a sad anorak that sometimes when I get bored with the telly, I go onto YouTube just to watch some sculling.
Well, yeah, I know, and people have called me a bit of an anorak too for going on and finding rowing events to watch. And you always learn something different, because you look at it with fresh eyes each time, and you find out different things about psychology and where things happen in races.
Right, so where are we? Back on the water? We somehow seem to have missed race 36. Derby and City of Bristol doesn't seem to have happened, because we're now moving on to race number 37, which is Jackie Johnson from Tideway Scullers on the right hand side of your screen on the enclosure side, and from Greenbank Falmouth, Sarah Lewis on the far side, just now lining up on the stake boats. I'm sure it will indicate...
I think is this...
this is the race that sneaked past us.
Derby and City of Bristol.
Which is Derby and City of Bristol, and it's a close race. It's Derby on this side and City of Bristol on the far side. That's Phoebe Cook from Derby and Hazel Fullman from City of Bristol. So that's Phoebe Cook. What's she got?
About half and a half.
And where are we? We're approaching. They've just gone past us here, and might be a length, I think.
Possibly just a length. It looked more than that, but yeah, it's another good race going on for these lightweight single sculls.
I think it's extraordinary the way that these days sculling races are very much closer now than they ever used to be, and I think that's absolutely testimony to the wisdom of the fact that youngsters are only now able to scull, and that sculling seems to be much more the norm. I don't know what it's like up in your club, but certainly where I'm based up in Stockton at Tees Rowing Club, most of the rowing now is done in scullings or double sculls or quads.
Our junior club in Aberdeen, there's a senior club and a junior club and 2 university clubs. And the junior club do tend to get them out in single sculls, doubles, quads, octos early on, and only at a later stage introduce them to sweep.
Well, now here we go, and we're getting into the last third of this race, and Phoebe Cook from Derby is still being led by about a length by Sarah Lewis from... no, I'm sorry. I got that wrong. My goodness me. Too many bits of paper in front of me here.
It's quite hard to see some of these colours as they come
Hazel
forward.
Fullman from City of Bristol. That's who I'm... Hazel Fullman's on the far side.
I think it's Hazel Fullman leading.
Yes, Hazel Fullman leading from Phoebe Cook from City of Bristol.
And I think we're back up with the...
Yeah, now we've changed
colours
races
and,
again. We
Greenbank
are indeed.
Falmouth, race, and that looks very close. I saw, we was watching one of the other cameras, and scullers seemed to go for each other just at the start of the race, but then have separated into a nice sort of separation. But still, it looks close, possibly about half a length, if that, between the 2 scullers. Sadly, the faraway scullers being eclipsed by Argonaut, which is the launch I was following races in. A lovely launch to follow races in. You get a fantastic view of racing. And here we come. And it's over Greenbank Falmouth, I think, leading Tideway Scullers.
Sarah Lewis, yes. Well, I've been down in that part of the world. Greenbank Falmouth, a beautiful bit of river they've got down there. And lovely setup, nice miles of empty river. I'm not sure that I'm agreeing with you. I think this is a very tight race indeed between these 2 scullers. Jackie Johnson from the Tideway Scullers. No, you're right. Actually, I think I have to agree with you. Sarah Lewis is leading Jackie Johnson. There could even be 2 lengths in it now, I think.
It's quite deceptive, but if you can sort of line up the white booms against each other, it gives you a guideline as to where they are.
As they go
that is quite a margin now, I think.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
But though is Johnson of Tideway Scullers making a push, trying to come back there. Looks as though she's lifted it and just trying to push on, but I think Lewis of Greenbank Falmouth is just staying in front. She looks a bit more relaxed looking up there.
It's interesting, having said what I said earlier on about length, there's a much more traditional... Sarah Lewis is a much more traditionally lightweight scullers and lightweight crews sort of skidded across the water with short and very sharp strokes, and that's pretty much what we've got there, with a bit of a send on the finish. Not a huge amount behind the rigger there.
No.
And forward, but very effective, because the speed there through the water is quite extraordinary. Although, having said that, whilst I was talking about that, Jackie Johnson really gave it some stick there. Woof! Boy, she's giving it some stick.
She's much longer through the water, getting way behind her riggers there, really reaching out for it.
And that is a traditional... That's traditional. That's how you would normally have expected an open weight or heavyweight sculler to scull. But the extra 2 strokes, the higher rate that's being done by Sarah Lewis, and that very slightly increased speed there through the rigger, is just making a difference and providing that cushion of, what would you say, 2.5, maybe even 3 lengths now?
No, about 2.5, I think. 2.5 as they come down towards the finish. That's a comfortable place to be on at that stage in the race, and I
time
think
to
that's
change
going
events
to be
again.
how it will finish. We're now on to the academic fours. Oh, this is so exciting. I'm just loving all this stuff happening. It's just it's like sitting on the bank, except you can see the whole race. This is wonderful. Quays College on the Bark Station, that's the checkerboard all-in-ones. Glasgow University on the far side, the Buck Station, Glasgow University Boat Club Both crews got off to a really good start. I think it's Keys College just maybe in the lead from the last camera shot that I saw, and yeah, I think they're just in the lead there. We seem to have lost them off the main screen.
One of the challenges when the weather gets quite bright, and we can see now from the sky that the sky is getting nice and blue and the clouds are getting high and light and white and fluffy, is it actually makes it quite difficult on the screen to actually pick out the craft. We can just see them now appearing on the right hand side of the screen. That's Keys College on the right side. Keys College, one of the oldest Cambridge colleges, and Glasgow University on the far side. Glasgow University having a good year this year, I think.
Not as good as Edinburgh, but certainly they have been doing very well, competing in lots of events, travelling to lots of places and doing lots of things. But to me it looks as though Keys College has got the edge there, just about half a length in front of Glasgow as they come through that barrier there.
Keys at 34 and Glasgow at 33.5, so very little between them. I wonder when you see the Keys kit, if you could make a comment about the Keys kit, which is slightly different. Time was when I was coaching at Keys, and that's certainly not what the ladies wore when I was down there. Mind, that was 20 years ago.
I saw it this morning and it certainly attracted my eye. It is
Perhaps you could
quite
describe
stunning.
it.
Well, it's sort of the Cambridge blue checkerboard, I would say, with chessboard pattern, black and the Cambridge blue harlequin, but much smaller squares. Just like a checkerboard on the top half of your kit, which is stunning to see. Very distinctive, and I remember being at Bucks Regatta and we had a leggings competition to see which was the most garish leggings we could find, and there were some high contenders there. Didn't spot that kit there.
Bucks Regatta, what's that?
British Universities and Colleges Sport, which is where a lot of these clubs will have been competing for the championships.
So that was sometime earlier in the season?
That was the first weekend in May, which fits in with their university timetable. So obviously these crews have stayed together to compete at this event, which is way beyond most colleges' break-up times. So
well, I think this is extraordinary from Keys College, because last week we can be sure that those 4 young ladies from Keys College would have been competing in the Cambridge Bumps, when in fact Keys started and finished the week as head of the maze at Cambridge, and at the same time they've been trying to row in a coxed four. They're rating 30 to Glasgow's 33, but it seems to be a big, strong, powerful 30, because it's given them just about a length as they're into the last 500 metres
it's
now.
It's a very effective race in Keys College. We'll just flick to the start of the next academic force.
Okay.
Durham on this side, Leeds University on the far side. Now I think I heard from colleagues that if you row in Leeds, you row in a little pond in Roundhay Park, where I think the course length is 500 metres.
No, not at all.
Really?
Yes, last year there was a big new boathouse opened on the river at Leeds, and they now have a nice, lovely water sports centre, and they've got some professional coaching. So that's why there's been such a transformation in Leeds and Leeds University. There's been investment and development, and they're reaping the harvest.
Well, Stan, that explains a lot of things, because this morning I said, as I saw 2 Leeds crews come through, I said, I don't think I've ever seen a Leeds crew race here before, and that explains everything. So if you put money in, build a boathouse on a rowable stretch of water, you get good rewards.
And all credit to them, they started this programme 2 years before they moved into the boathouse, so they actually hit the ground running last year. And now on the Northern Circuit, which is where I am these days, if you come up against a Leeds crew or a Leeds University crew, the days when they were a pushover, no more.
Very good. I'm delighted to hear it. It's lovely to hear success stories and expansion of our sport, because that's what we want.
So 38 I clocked Durham at there.
Good grief.
On this side, and I think it's put them in. There we are. We're about a minute into the race.
That is a close race. This is very close, Stan. Look at that. Durham canvas in front, maybe, if that.
About a canvas. The good news, on the far side, Leeds are underrating them. Leeds are only rating about 34s. In fact, they are rating 34s. Durham popping along at 37s.
Do you think Durham can sustain that 37 down the course? I don't think so. The sun's out now. It's a bit warm for a high rating race.
They must have a very light rig on them if they're going to be rating that high over the whole course. I mean, because to rate 38 for what is effectively 5 minutes, that is some level of fitness required.
Yeah, hard to gauge that one. I don't think that even this high rating is doing Durham any favours, actually.
I noticed they had a wobble there as you spoke. Did you see that? And wobbling again?
Wobbling again. I think they're struggling to hold on to that rating.
Yeah,
whereas Leeds, a bit lower, a bit more steady, are just holding on to it and being much more effective.
Durham down at 36 now, and as you say, look like they're scrambling a little bit, as we would describe it. Much more settled rhythm there in the Leeds crew at 33s.
That's what you want. Durham's still in front, though. Oh, lovely.
I was going to say, I think we've been seeing some winning ugly in the football this week, and the important thing is to get there first.
There's a bit of a wobble there in the Durham boat. I think that unsettled them.
I think they call that the commentator's curse, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. The minute you say something, it's a tragedy for whoever you're speaking about. Good close race this one, though. I think it must be coming close to us in the enclosures. Stan, but canvas, half a length maybe, if that. Hard to gauge the angles, but wonderful to see. As you say, Durham still...
Here we are as they go past just half a length.
And Durham still overrating Leeds. They're still holding on to it.
And looking a bit tidier now. No.
Commentator's curse. There we go. A lot of water splashing around this spotted.
Interesting. Can Durham hang on in there, or will the greater cohesion and togetherness of the Leeds crew get them through? This is the crucial point. 500 metres to go. About a minute and a half.
Yeah, it's the bit where you're starting to feel tired and you're thinking, how hard do I want this win? How hard? What does it mean to me? What does it mean to the crew? This is where, this is where the head games come in, isn't it?
This is where
who wants it most?
This is where the Cox is important.
Oh, absolutely. Cox worth their weight in gold. Very much underrated. I always persuade any crew I'm coaching to look after the Cox, because a Cox can give you a race or lose you the race.
Well, I don't know about you, but I think Leeds they've got through.
Yeah, they have.
Well, that was a very intelligent piece of racing, don't you think?
Definitely. Slow and steady, just keeping it together.
Well,
no
a Durham
dramas.
finish though, or is that the parallax of the camera angle?
Oh, good question, Stan. Very good question.
We've got about 150, 200 metres to go. We need to stick with this race so we can see it through to a conclusion. Durham on this side, they've been leading most of the way. Leeds put in a burst just past the boating area and have got their noses in front. So as we come down, can we go back to that finish? Can we go back to the finish and see? Here we go. Back up to the finish.
I think it's Leeds now. I think
Leeds have got through, haven't they?
It looks as though it's Leeds.
And I think Durham have shot their bolt. I think Leeds are pulling away, don't you?
Yeah, it looks as though Leeds, whatever they did here, from being half a length down to being a length and a half up, is very impressive.
All credit to Durham for selling their lives for the highest available price.
Yep.
They're going to be tired, but I hope ladies that feel they've done their job from Durham,
they've
come back next year, Durham. That was a fine show you put on there. Well done, Leeds. Look forward to seeing them tomorrow. Absolutely. So what have we got next?
Where are we in the programme? Manchester against UCL. Race number 40 in our programme, which is just coming here. You can see University of London on the far side, Manchester's yellow and purple blades. Very distinctive blades, so you can always spot them. Manchester up there, I think, as they come off the start. Manchester half a length, maybe 2/3 of a length in front of University of London.
It's University College London.
Sorry.
Yeah, and University College London would be deeply offended if you called them University of London.
Yeah, I know. I do apologise.
But you're right. Just to confuse us, they have very similar vest colours.
It was the vest colour I spotted. I didn't spot the pale blue because the blades were in the water.
Don't worry,
that is my story and I will stick to it.
I've been upsetting them for generations.
but that's Manchester, just looking a bit more stable, a bit more steady. University College London look a bit wobbly, a bit snatchy.
Well, I was going to say both crews are racing at 34, but the lovely thing about that Manchester 4 is they look like they've got all day coming forward, don't they?
Yes.
They look like they've got all day. We've got all day to do this. Just shove it away. All day. That's lovely rhythm.
Isn't it?
Isn't that beautiful?
Looks sustainable, very effective.
Yeah,
very
we
efficient.
can sit here for half an hour. Bing, bang, bang, bang. 34s, tick tock. That is lovely.
And we've lost the University of London crew.
University College London,
Sorry.
absolutely right. What can live with... We all of us, sometimes, you hit that sweet spot sometimes, don't you?
Yes.
And you get
Into a
on
rhythm.
and you think, wow, this boat is singing me such a lovely song today.
And what a feeling that is from the inside of the boat. You just feel so good. And I think that Manchester crew is probably in that zone.
They're
feeling
singing a
so
great
good.
song this afternoon, I think. And we've actually got on to the next race, indeed.
Which is another Durham University Academic 4 against Exeter University. With Durham University on this side, the Bark side, the towpath side on the left hand side of your screen, and Exeter over on the far side. You can usually spot the Exeter blades, but as Stan has said earlier, it's lovely to see the sun. Don't get me wrong, it is lovely. It just makes finding colours on this little screen quite difficult.
And Exeter University, still coached by a very old chum of mine, Richard Tinkler. We were together for many, many years at a club in London.
Wow, that's close from the
and,
above angle there.
Richard himself was a very successful lightweight rower and has been coaching lightweight women for many, many years now. And his crews normally have that distinctive, what I was talking earlier on, that very quick style, that very sharp style. Richard, a supreme technician and a very, very good teacher of rowing. His crews always have beautiful technique, always nicely together, and always race very, very hard. And here we can see they've established an early lead.
And just sitting there, there have been some very good lightweight Exeter crews coming out in the
Absolutely.
last 2 or 3 years. Exeter going from strength to strength. Good programme down there in Exeter.
Yes, Richard.
Put a lot of money into it and expanded the coaching team. And you know, if money goes in and you expand the coaching team, you start getting very good results. You're not just for rowing, but raising the profile of your university.
And Exeter there at 37 and Durham at 35, and Exeter with about a length's lead as they come. We're coming down towards the enclosures. You can see all the spectators, many of them competitors or competitors' families and friends and club mates, enjoying the sunshine, dipping their feet in the water as the boats go past. There'll be a great big wash, giving them a little bit of wet feet and wet legs.
Oh, well, I would say it was a welcome cool, because as I walked down with the sun coming out, Stan, you could certainly feel the temperature rising. And it's lovely. It's just so nice to see so many people out enjoying a good day's racing on a Friday afternoon.
And I noticed that the umpire had warned Exeter, but he's put his flag away, so they've obviously returned to their station. I think they were straying towards the centre of the river, and maybe they haven't got quite enough of a lead yet to move into the middle of the course. I'm just trying to clock the Exeter rate and see if they're still up at 37s. No, they're not.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like a 37 from here. Just,
No, it's 35 and a half for Exeter, and they're being pushed now. University College London giving it some stick as their supporters. Very good support for University College here.
Oh, Exeter just going past
For Durham,
us.
I do apologise.
And Durham about a length and a quarter behind there, just as they come past. Big Durham contingent out there as well.
Durham have taken their rate up to 37s to try and get back on terms, and certainly from this angle it looks like they're overlapping.
It's working. We can look down, not just on the screen, but just look down on the water over there, Stan, because we've got a great view here. But we can actually see that there is overlap now where there wasn't before. Durham made a big move there and are just really pushing on hard. Exeter not doing anything drastic, they're just sitting there and just squeezing it out just that little bit more, just to maintain that differential they have over Durham.
Funny enough, on tactics, Exeter have taken their rate down to 35, and their Rowan Farmer effective at 35, than they were at 36.5, and they seem to have re-established that little bit of a cushion.
Well, it's, it feels a bit more comfortable. You feel you can do it for longer and harder, and it's sometimes nice to be able to drop that rating and just go back to a more relaxed.
Let's work on the basis that race coming to a conclusion. The last heat of the academic Coxed Falls first round, Exeter University and Durham University, and Exeter University going into the last 200 metres, leader length and a half. And we now move on to some more heats of the senior single sculls. Race number 42 is just starting, and I think you've got some information about this race.
I do indeed. I was just I saw this on the programme earlier, Victoria City in Canada, and I only saw the Victoria City, and I was just struggling to figure out where Victoria City was, which of the Commonwealth countries it may have been in, and of course it's Canada. We'll find out from the programme later. This is Andrea Proska, who rows Victoria City Rowing Club, and seemingly started rowing because of a bottle of wine and a persuasive family friend. Well, I think most of us have been shoehorned into some things because of bottles of wine, but let's not go there. And she's finding some of my notes quite hard to read.
Well, she's racing against Ilo Luak.
From Estonia. He was in Oxford Blue Boat this year.
And she's who's representing Oxford University Women's Boat Club here at the Regatta. And Ilo Luak, is that how you pronounce it? It's on the far side. And on this side we have
the Andrea Prosk of Canada. Well, interestingly enough, I did find out something about Luak of Oxford University last night. Her first degree was from Aberdeen University.
Really?
It's just amazing what you find.
And you say she's Lithuanian, did you say?
Estonian.
Estonian,
yes. Not far across the Baltic Sea to Aberdeen, really.
Bit of a distance between these two scullers already, and we haven't even reached halfway in the race yet.
No.
And it looks to me as Andrea Proska has come all the way from Canada. Well, maybe you don't come all that way unless you think you stand a really good chance.
Of course not. And I'm sure she's enjoying these conditions here. It's a lovely course to race on. And I've been to the Canadian Henley, and it's a lovely course too, on a lake near St Catharines in Canada, and a beautiful course. But she is making easy work of this race there.
Well, indeed, and she's got a lead.
Margin she has there over Luak of Oxford University Women's Boat Club.
And they haven't even reached halfway, and there's a big gap between them. So now we're moving on to the next heat of women's senior single sculls, and this is between on the left-hand side of the screen from Thames Rowing Club, and on the far side we've got Nottingham Boat Club, and from Thames
it's Sculler 157
it's
from Thames.
Abigail McCartney from Nottingham Boat Club, and from Thames Rowing Club it's Sophie Theodorou. Oh, I'm sorry, I've misread my programme. Goodness me. It's Minerva Bath who's on the far side. Who's Malloy. It's we'll get used to all these bits of paper by Sunday. Alika Malloy.
We'll know all these scullers, and so they were personal friends by Sunday, Stan. It's funny how when you're commentating on races, there are some scullers' names that just stick out, and you remember them, and you see the surname, and you just know that it's...
With their permission, we'll just use their surnames as we look at this race together. But it's even...
It's a very close race here, actually. Minerva Bath and Theodora of Thames, and it's the Thames Sculler. Oh, not canvas in front, maybe half a length, if that.
I was going to say, after a minute, she's got about half a length, I would say. She's
Motoring on. Oh, look at those lovely long strokes. That is so nice to watch. Just
sculling at 30, found a nice rhythm.
Very efficient rhythm. She seems to be pulling away from Malloy of Minerva Bath.
Who's overrating her by 2 strokes a minute. She's at 32, Malloy from Bath. And
lovely long strokes from Theodoro, though. It's looked very long, very effective. And just she's quite confident to sit at the 30 that she was sitting at and just know that she can lever her way past the Minerva Bath sculler.
And here they are, just coming and the umpire warning Theodoro to move back onto her station. She'd strayed beyond the middle of the river and was potentially just about to start interfering with Malloy from Minerva Bath, and the umpire's now put his flag down, so obviously satisfied she's moved back to her half of the river. The umpires try and go right down the middle of the course, but that, of course, a bit dependent on the wind and the driver. I think today probably the drivers will be able to manage it without too much difficulty.
It's amazing what having an umpire's launch sort of sitting in the middle of the two boats does to keep them apart. It's like a visual separator. A lovely performance from Theodoro here of Thames Rowing Club, Sculler 157. Just, I think she's dropped her rating even more. I think that looks like about a 28. Just keeping it long and strong and just doing enough to stay in front. And Stan's just clocked her and showed me that it was 27 and a half. It shows you that if you've been coaching long enough or you were watching rowing long enough, you can gauge it by eye without the electronic means.
I won't test you. I won't test you, Carol. Malloy's at 27s.
Oh, dear me.
And there we are. We're coming down into the last third of this race, and Theodoro from Thames clearly demonstrating that she's done hundreds and hundreds of kilometres in her single this year, and whoever's been coaching her, she's been listening into them. She has this lovely rhythm, this nice long stroke, and that right combination between rhythm and power and relaxation, and she's just ticking it along. And we've now moved quite rightly onto the next race, which is between two scullers from the same club.
Two Nottingham scullers, indeed. In fact, there's been quite a few Nottingham boats that have appeared, 2 or 3 boats in each event, which is lovely to see. Just
Abigail McCartney on the left-hand side and Primrose Wilkins on the far side.
Wow, good start. I sort of caught it out the corner of my eye. Very little to choose between them, and you can see from the drone there, very little in it. I wonder how much.
Isn't that a beautiful picture?
Isn't that a fantastic advert for the sport? Just look at that.
Yes, who wouldn't want to come to Henley when you see something like that with Temple Island on the left-hand side and the two scullers sculling beautifully towards us? I would say dead level.
I would say dead level. I wonder if they train side by side. I think they probably do. And this could be one of these great needle matches that maybe one day one wins and one day the other doesn't. It's the sculler on the right-hand side, Wilkins, Primrose Wilkins, just starting to move in front there.
It's a gladiatorial contest, this single sculling, and it just seems to be, you can almost sense the determination and the grit and the steel coming out of Abigail McCartney, who is just not going to be beaten by her clubmate.
Oh, absolutely not. Look at this side-on view. This is you can just see them really, really going for it there.
But in fact, Abigail, the other thing that's lovely is Primrose Wilkins, who's on the left-hand side as we look at. No, she's on the right-hand side. She was out front with the early determination, but now we've got Abigail McCartney. She's looked round, she's realised that her clubmate has sneaked a half a length, and she's determined she's not going to give any quarter, and she's come back and started asking the questions again.
Oh, this will
Look at this, they're back, and she's now taking the lead.
Goodness me!
This is going to be some contest to these two girls. They may be from the same club, and it may be the first round, but my goodness me, aren't they both determined to do this one? And now it goes again. Primrose has sneaked out again to a slight lead. How many times is this league going to change hands in this race?
I think both these girls are very determined single scullers. And I think to put them up, well, as the draw has happened, they're side by side. This will be a storming race. And it's not often you see single sculling races this close, this far into the race. We're almost at the enclosure stand. That's a long way to have this head-on-head battle.
So that's 600 metres into this 1,500 metre race. These scullers will have been going hammer and tongs now for 2.5 minutes. They'll have been through that wall that you hit no later than 2 minutes into the race. So now it'll be a question of who wants it most, who can hurt themselves the most, because that will already be hurting.
Oh, definitely. It's who will crumble to the pain first. I think scullers have a special mentality because they don't think about the pain. They just want to make somebody else suffer more than they are.
So Primrose Wilkins are on the far side, Abigail McCartney on this side. Both these scullers from Nottingham Boat Club or Nottingham Rowing Club in this heat of the senior single sculls for the Bernard Churchill Trophy. And how Bernard would have loved to see this race. His wife Pauline, of course, a retired international umpire. Bernard and Pauline, two of the people who founded Henley Women's Regatta nearly 30 years ago. And if there was one thing Bernard loved, he loved standing behind a race like this with his umpire's flags not being used, and how he would have enjoyed seeing
spectating
just watching
from the best view.
This gladiatorial contest.
And this is still going on. This is still a contest. This is still a big, big battle going on. They've just gone past us. Nothing as they went past us on the water. The umpire's launch is still following them, and these scullers
still
have
level,
not given up whatsoever. I can't tell how level they are from the angles of the uprights there, Stan. I just don't know where they are. Maybe Primrose Wilkins has taken an advantage there, just as she comes through.
Well, they're both at 32s, and now we've gone back to the start. But I'd like us to go back, if we can, to the finish, so we can see the finish of that very close race between the two ladies from Nottingham. We've got two other scullers on the course at the moment. But now we're going back to the finish, and in fact we can see the race is over between the two girls from Nottingham. Primrose Wilkins has cracked Abigail McCartney, and Abigail's still giving it some stick, but I think this race is over. Usually once one sculler cracks, and I think she has now cracked, we'll follow it right through to the finish if we can. No, we won't be able to, but I don't know, they're coming back at her.
I think she's trying hard. It's very difficult once you've cracked to get back, but she is giving it a good shot there. She is really trying to work so hard to get back in touch, but it's Primrose Wilkins. I think my money would be on Primrose Wilkins.
I think so too. We won't know because we can't hear the public address system from inside our little cocoon here where we've got the television monitors in front of us. But on the website, go to Henley Women's Regatta, where you'll see the streaming pictures that we're talking to, and every result is put up as it is received from the judges' box.
And what a fantastic resource this is this year again. It is so good for family and friends, wherever they may be, taking a sneaky coffee break at work and just logging in and following the racing, or following from the other side of the world. I'm sure there were a lot of Canadians watching that race earlier, and a lot of people all over the world watching the progress of their crews.
So here we have Lindsay Hamilton from City of Cambridge,
and
over on the far side we've got Catherine Erickson from Oxford University. So how are they doing?
Not much in it, I don't think. It's this side, City of Cambridge, to my mind, is just slightly in front.
We're in the last third of this race, and Lindsay Hamilton, yes, just trying to hang on. Is it barely a length? Barely a length, I think. Yeah, just over a length maybe now.
Yep.
She's just beginning to pull away, I think, from Catherine Erickson. obviously was busy in the boat race, and I suspect rowing in a bigger boat may even have been rowing for her college last week in the bumps.
And it's difficult to get from the mentality of a sweep boat and sweep racing into single scull racing, because it is a very different mindset.
Well,
Different skills required for one. You've got two blades rather than one blade, but it is also a different sort of mentality being in a crew boat than being in a single scull all by yourself.
So I misidentified that. That was Sarah Stafford Airy from City of Cambridge, and it looks like she's got that race under the bag. And now we change events again, I think.
It's back to the academic fours. University of London on the left-hand side, and Liverpool University on the
Far side.
right-hand side.
One's called Berkshire and one's called Buckinghamshire. That means nothing at all on the television screen.
No.
And just to confuse people, the Buckinghamshire-Oxfordshire border is halfway down Temple Island. So although it's Buckinghamshire at the start, by the time they emerge from the end of Temple Island, the far side is Oxfordshire, which is why Henley is in Oxfordshire. But why should we worry about doing things logically? This is Henley.
So it looks as though the University of London have come out of the island half a length in front there, just racing away from Liverpool University. To not much yet. I think they're sort of stroke for stroke, but it's definitely much. Looks to be the University of London's at present. Liverpool just coming back there. They're just putting a little push on the legs just to sort of get themselves back with a bit more overlap, because I think the Cox and the Liverpool University boat said, no girls are getting away from us, just work harder and we'll keep in touch.
Well, I was going to say, I couldn't believe it, because I was taking the rates of Liverpool and they were staying at 39s and 38s, and but they've now settled at 36s. I think their idea was if they took longer before they settle into the thing, they may be able to hang on to what I suspect they think might be a faster University of London crew. After the time trials this morning, I think they seed the crews this afternoon, so the fastest goes against the 16th fastest. But of course what we don't know is where these crews came in the pecking order. The idea is to get the fastest two crews in the final, so there could be quite a time differential between these two crews over the course this morning.
They very nicely just published the time trials in alphabetical order, which is very good. It gives us good ideas. And here's oh, look at that, two Scottish crews side by side. St Andrews University and Edinburgh University. I think they probably raced each other last weekend. And oh, it was really sad, I can't remember who won there. So they used to train on the same bit of water, they don't now. I think St Andrews University, I heard in the grapevine, were training at Lochore Meadows, which is a water park, or water that has been developed out of the old coal mines in Fife.
Right, so that's some distance from St Andrews, is it?
No, St Andrews, they used to train on the sea.
Well, that's what I thought.
So, but not now. They have decided that that's not particularly good for boats or aluminium riggers, because they tend to corrode. I know we row in a tidal river, we get a lot of corrosion of aluminium with the salt. But Edinburgh University do most of their training at Strathclyde Park these days.
Well, meantime, the University of London and Liverpool University now well into the second half of their race. And no change in that race. Meantime, back to the start with these two Scottish crews. So which is which of these two?
Furthest away from us in the pale baby blue is Edinburgh University. It always looks like a turquoisey blue in the camera. The blade with the darker blue, lighter blue stripes, the closest to us with the pale blue down the side is St Andrews University. Interestingly enough, their old rowing kit used to have a little strip of tartan down the side, which I really liked. I thought that was a nice Scottish touch. Just waiting for the start. I love watching starts, don't you, Stan?
Yes, although I have to say
favourite.
it was a very different sensation when I was sitting in the boat.
Yeah, oh, definitely. But adrenaline takes over then, doesn't it? You just forget all about it. It's one of my favourite positions to watch racing, or just maybe 100 metres off the start.
So at the moment, why are they all waiting? Well, that's because there's one of the officials is called the aligner who's on the bank here, and he'll be just talking
And
through the headphones to the stake boat people, just moving the boat back a little bit or forward a little bit so the bow balls are exactly level. So here we go then. This is the first of the second set of academic Coxed Fours first round races. These crews having been the successful 16. This is the second 8 of the afternoon of these 16 fours that are racing. We've got St Andrews University on the left hand side and Edinburgh University on this side. They've been going for about 20 strokes. Carol, you've been watching them. Who's got their nose in front?
I think St Andrews University had the better start. And I do think that they are seeming to increase their lead there. I thought they had a really nice start. They seem to get their noses in front off the start and carry on moving away. I wonder if maybe some of the... I know Edinburgh's got a huge presence here this weekend. They've got 2 8s in the academic 8s. They've got other small boats. I do wonder if this is one of their less experienced boats racing in this academic 4s. St Andrews University haven't appeared much in the scene, but this year they've got a new coach and they are starting to do more and more things. They travel down to the British University Championships in force. They have been appearing in lots of other regattas in force, and it's great to see. Clubs sometimes go through expansions and sort of declines, and it's great to see when they're going through an expansion again.
So why have we had this huge expansion in Edinburgh University in the last 4 or 5 years?
As with everything else, they have put in a paid coach. In fact, they've got a very good coaching team now, and they've put money in buying new boats. They've bought a huge new fleet of boats, and they have decided that rather than train on the tiny little canal that goes through Edinburgh, they go to spend the money and train at Strathclyde Park, big 6-lane multi-lane course, and that's where they do their training. In fact, Strathclyde Park's an 8-lane course, and that's where they do the training most of the time.
So that's quite a ride from their university every time they want to go afloat then.
They only go in specific times, I think, but it's an hour each way. But
right,
the boats are all stored at Strathclyde Park these days, and with the paid coach, the coaching framework they've got in place, which is very good. They've been going away on training camps, and having the dedication of a coach with a coaching team has just pulled on Edinburgh University. And because Edinburgh University have raised their game, all other universities in Scotland have had to raise their game, and they are raising their game. And that is just a fantastic pleasure to watch.
Well, I think your knowledge of Scottish rowing is proven to be true here, because St Andrews at 36s and Edinburgh are at 35, and St Andrew have a lead of about 1 length as we're just coming away about 400 metres into this 1500 metre race.
It's good performance from St Andrews University. They don't, as I said, they've raised their game in the last little while. They haven't appeared in the sort of bigger rowing scene for quite a few years, and it's great to see them actually competing outside Scotland, competing very well. They're doing very well here today, and that is a lovely performance from St Andrews University. Looks on this that they may live to fight another day.
I was going to say, and they're racing at 36, and they're just now rowing past us here. They look well under control. That is quite some trick to ray at 36 and to look comfortable in a 4, Coxed 4, heavy slow boat.
Yep.
Rating at 36. Normally you see Coxed 4s back down at 34s or even 35s as a maximum, sometimes 33s. There they are at 36, ticky-tocky, and just knocking it along really nicely, just gradually increasing the distance, inch by inch. I think they've probably got clear water now.
I think they're moving away from Edinburgh University there. I think as they went past us it was clear water, and a really nice performance from that St Andrews University 4. Delight to see. I'm really pleased.
Absolutely. So yes, they're doing just enough, I think, to get through to tomorrow's racing. They don't look at all troubled. They haven't changed their rhythm. They haven't changed their rate.
It looks to me as though they're enjoying it, actually. They've just got that sort of look as though they're enjoying this race.
Yes,
it's easy to enjoy when you're in front. I know you were going to say that, but they look as though they're just well settled in a nice rhythm and are really enjoying the spectacle, the
They're having
ambience.
a good row, I think. Although all credit, that Edinburgh University crew, as you say, it may not be their top boat, but actually they're still nicely together. They're still hanging on to the shirt tails of St Andrews. There's still only a length in it, and as far as they're concerned, they're going to make they're going to make St Andrews row every stroke of this.
That said, I think Edinburgh University have just gone up there. I think I think they might have a very strong finish, and I think if St Andrews University don't have a strong finish, they may lose this.
Well, you're absolutely right. Edinburgh University have gone up to
they're
38 now, and they're coming back
through.
asking the questions.
Oh, and can St Andrews apply? This is a goodie. I think they might have left it too late. Were they caught napping there?
I was going to say St Andrews still at 35, 36s, and Edinburgh have definitely gone through.
Oh, they have. There's a real turn up for the books there. Goodness me.
The curse of the commentators. They're
Absolutely.
rowing comfortably, they're enjoying their rowing, and in the last
On the line,
20 strokes,
I think you're
Caught
going to have to
napping.
go
Caught
online
napping.
and find the result in that one.
caught napping.
Oh gosh, here's another one, Stan. More. Can spot the University of West of England with the red kit on the near side nearest to us, and on the far side,
University College Dublin.
and the ladies from there. And it looks as though it's the University of West of England in the intermediate academic coxed fours. And boy, that is quite a margin already in this race. That must be a very strong crew from
University
there.
of West of England. I have to say I'm a little bit chuffed about that, because many years ago I was the first paid coach they ever had at University of West of England, and we were just beginning to establish the women's club. There was a lady there who established the women's club, and I established the men's club, and we put the Bristol boat races together. We're talking oh goodness me, nearly 25 years ago now.
So it must delight you to see how they've gone from strength to strength.
Absolutely. Every year in every way they get a little better.
They do. Distinctive colours. So did you have a choice in the colour code there?
No, we did. The colours had already been chosen. All we tried to do was to try and find some bodies to fill the vests.
Well, over the years, the sort of small seed that you planted has served up quite a lot of fruit, because I've seen them race various places.
Lovely stretch of river they rode on in between Bristol and Bath, and at the same time we got a coaching scheme going at Avon County that meant some of their ladies came here and won some medals later on, and
oh yes,
it was just one of those things. Sometimes you do things in life and it comes and smacks you, and sometimes you do things in life and you sit in your chair with a glass in your hand and a quiet smile on your face.
Oh, I would feel very proud of that, because that's a very strong performance from the University of the West of England there, just really staying in front of the University College Dublin, and staying enough in front so that it looks as though they'll be here tomorrow. And yep, are they still managing to maintain that lead they have? I think they are.
That's probably getting on for 2 lengths despite the parallax, I think. There's 35s, although based on what we said,
Yeah, well, we were caught
And the
with
fact that-
Edinburgh and St Andrews. So,
and that they're Irish fighters, and they are fighting away there. They're
no,
not.
they are. They're not giving up.
They're giving it everything they got. In fact, University of West of England have had to take their rate up to make sure they keep their noses in front.
University College Dublin have come back on them, because there was a bigger margin than that further up the course.
Yep, just over a length there on the finish.
Oh, credit to those ladies for that hard work.
So we've got another Scottish crew in the next race.
So I've just looked up and I can spot that, yeah, Edinburgh against Worcester.
But actually, Edinburgh against Worcester, we must have missed the start of that race. So we'll have to pick that one up further down the course, because what we've got is the other half of the Senior Sculls first round coming through, because they're sitting on the start right now.
We've got Mold